Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis. It's Comic Book Roundtable. And we have Rez back. How's it going?
Yay! I'm back. I'm back.
So say it's been a few weeks, so looking forward to chatting with you, talking some comics, and
Oh yeah.
see what you're reading and whatnot. As most people know that watch this, me and Rez aren't really big Marvel reading fans at all. And this week happens to be the week I don't have any Marvel books. Rez doesn't have any Marvel books, so we don't have any Marvel books to talk about. But we did start watching Defenders, or at least I did. Wes, you said you watched at least you've watched the first couple episodes. I've only watched the first episode. I'm watching it with my family. It takes a while to get everybody together to actually watch it. But during the day, I watched at least the first episode just to get kind of a sense of what's going to be like with all of them together, kind of thing. Of course, at the point of the first episode, they aren't together. This, taking the 4 Netflix shows and combining them. But I'm interested. One of the things I really, really liked about it, each character has their own color. Did you notice that? That anytime Luke Cage is on screen, everything's kind of a glowy yellow. Anytime Matt Murdock is on screen, it's all reds and oranges. And Jessica's all blues. Everything's kind of blue tones around her and stuff. Green for Iron Fist. I don't know what that's about, but anyway. So I don't know. I thought that was really kind of cool. I'm curious to see, as we get farther into the show, do they maintain as much as possible those colors? I thought that was a kind of a fascinating thing to do.
I was gonna collide. You think they're gonna use the color wheel?
They'll all be black. They'll all get that black. They all mixed together. I don't know.
Use color theory. I don't know. I'm excited about the possibilities of it.
Well, it'll be cool. It'll be cool if they do. So, what you get, Matt and Jessica goes together, and it's gonna be all purple.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. maybe bring in back. Was it Mr. What is his name? Her villain. What's her
Kilgrave, Mr. Purple.
Yes. Yeah, so bring him back when they fuse together their timelines.
There you go. Yeah. So you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I did enjoy the first episode. I was really I was fangirling out. I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited! I had made an announcement on Twitter. I was like, I am officially watching Defenders.
Nice.
And so yeah, it was really cool. Like I could care less about Iron Fist, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like it was so forced. I mean, I couldn't finish the whole entire season of Iron Fist because it was boring. The kids did; they finished it. I didn't like it too much. I was just happy to see Jessica Jones in some form, because I don't know why they're slacking and take it so damn long to bring her back for a second season. But I'm glad I get to see her now.
Well, they're filming that now. Because I've seen shots of them filming it, because David Tennant is back in some capacity as Kilgrave. I don't know if it'll be flashbacks or if he's back as the villain or whatever. But they are filming that right now, so they are working on it. It does seem like it's taking a long time, because they got the second season of Daredevil out fairly quick, it seemed like, and then it seems like they're dragging on Jessica Jones, right? Yeah.
But my favorite has been Jessica Jones, even though the last few episodes of that season was pretty rocky as far as how it played out. It kind of turned from like super serious to kind of funny, like comedic in a way, towards the climax of that season. However, I still really I feel like she left an impression on me, and it made me want to know more about her, which is what kind of escalated my interest in the Alias series. Also with getting the Jessica Jones series that is written by
Bendis.
Bendis, Michael Bryan Bendis, and Gatos and stuff like that. So I was really interested in holding on to that series for so long because of my love of the TV series from Netflix. However, I feel like they took a lot of elements from that Netflix series and tried to implement it into the book, the newer series of Jessica Jones from Marvel, and they didn't really play it out in a way where it was keeping my interest in the story. So I eventually dropped it after, I think, issue 6 or 7. So yeah. She is my favorite character so far from that Marvel universe. Second would be Daredevil. I really like that guy's depiction, Charlie Cox, I believe.
Yeah. So looking forward to it. I hear it's short, right? It's only like 8 episodes or something like that, I think. So it won't take a lot to get through it. It was a challenge. I got through Iron Fist. It was a challenge to get through Iron Fist. Not that I hated it, but it was just a slog fest of being really kind of slow. I mean, even the martial arts felt slow. And I mean, I know, Kung Fu, the style itself is a more fluid kind of a thing instead of just a fast pace, whatever, but still it could have been more exciting than what it was. But at any rate, so when the Defender starts out all Danny Rand stuff, it's like, oh, we're starting right out to the stuff that most of us complained about. So that was kind of funny, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward. I'm intrigued by Sigourney Weaver's character. I mean, because we've all kind of thought that Madam what? I can't remember her name. The person we thought was kind of in charge of the hand. She seems to be kind of like the boss lady. She's basically kowtowing to Sigourney Weaver's character. So clearly she's
the counterpart from the comic that Michael Bryan Bendis is writing, right, into the show.
I don't know. I'm not reading that, so I have no idea.
Okay, because in the comic series, in the Marvel Comics Jessica Jones series, there was a woman who propositioned Jessica Jones to help her take out all the superheroes like Captain Marvel and people like that. So and she was a kind of reddish blonde head, and she had like this really huge hard-on for taking Captain America down and all the other superheroes. And she, like I said, after she had kind of gotten Jessica Jones out of jail and tried to get her to help her take the people down and stuff like that. And somehow Jessica Jones was like a triple spy of some sort. Like
sure.
And she tricked her and tricked also Captain America. And then we found out.
Well, I can see that. I mean, I can see that being some sort of case because I know Elektra's back in the show, the Defenders show, in some sense with the hand. So there may be some of that kind of stuff going on there.
Okay.
But I thought the first episode did a good job of kind of giving you a sense of where all the characters are at right now in their lives. Because they're, from when we left off in their separate series, clearly gives us some sort of threat. I mean, there's this earthquake thing that happens towards the end of the first episode. So clearly there's some sort of scary something happening. And we've got this woman who clearly is more powerful than the person at least I thought was kind of in charge of the hand. She clearly is, I mean, she's handing her a bird feed and telling her to feed the birds. I mean, so, I
don't think the hand was like a mercenary of some sort where you pay them like a contract mercenary.
Well, but clearly they also have their own agenda going on too of trying to take over New York. They had that pit. They were doing like the stuff in the Daredevil series where they're kind of creating these kind of reanimated super soldier kind of stuff and whatnot. They had a bunch of different stuff that they were doing. So yeah, I kind of thought that they were seemed to be other than the Jessica Jones ones, they were kind of one of the main kind of a threats. And I kind of went waiting to see if they fold into stuff with Black Mariah and Face there with the Luke Cage stuff. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I know a lot of other people have already watched deep into it, but I'm just like I said, I thought the first issue did a good job of kind of giving us enough stuff to give us interest in the possibilities of where the show's going to go and whatnot. So
yeah, I'm excited about it because I mean, so far it's been very entertaining. And I've been trying to make sure I watch it, I'm not just allowing it to play in the background and I'm not catching it,
Mm-hmm.
So far I watched a few episodes.
Yeah, cool. Alrighty, so no other Marvel stuff, I'm assuming. So we will roll on. What do you want to talk next? You want to talk Indie or do you want to talk DC?
We can talk DC because I've only read, I think, let's see, one DC, and I know one of them's Vertigo, but you usually count the Vertigo into the Indie, so.
Yeah. Okay, so DC Comics. Let's see here. I want to talk about Trinity real quick. I was kind of excited for this because this issue of Trinity kind of introduces a mystical Trinity. We're getting Zatanna, John Constantine, and Deadman in the book as being the magical Trinity versus our main superhero Trinity here. Ties into a kind of a story that's been kind of dabbled along, in the Annual and a couple other places. there's these there's Ra's al Ghul and Cersei and Lex Luthor are like an evil trinity. There's these things called Pandora pits. They're kind of like the Batman's Lazarus pits kind of thing. So it's kind of excited about that because I really like the DC Magic characters. The problem is this is written by Rob Williams, and I don't think his voice for these characters I thought was not good at all. I didn't enjoy it one bit. Constantine isn't a smart, kind of a prick. He's just a dumb prick in this is how they write him constantly in it. The supposed relationship between John and Zatanna, they're like exes, and the way they write that, I don't care for that characterization at all either. It was kind of really disappointing. I mean, I like Williams' work on The Unfollow. I thought that was a really interesting story, told lots of interesting stuff. I even like most of the stuff he wrote for Martian Manhunter that was out a year or two ago. But I have not liked his Suicide Squad writing, and I don't like his characterization of these characters in this either. I mean, I don't even really like him doing the regular Trinity. I don't think he does a very good job. So I don't know if he's just one of those writers that does well with his own material, but when he has to write, for me anyway, when he has to write some a franchise owned character, he doesn't really have a decent voice for them. He is going to the base of the character with no finesse is what it feels like. So I'm really just disappointed in this. I was hoping for a couple of kind of cool Magic issues, and I don't think I'm going to get that. And I'm sure there's at least one more issue to tie up this thing, because this is kind of halfway in it, and I just really was not feeling it at all. The other DC superhero comic book I want to talk about for sure is, there's a bunch of them actually. Who am I kidding? Batwoman. So Batwoman issue number 6. This is the Pax Batmana. So this issue I really enjoyed. It's set in the future sometime. It's set way in the future. Kate is an, I don't know, older woman in this. She is it's an opening scene of her flying in and kind of like like some sort of a secret airship over Gotham, and they're shooting cannons. They're shooting some sort of laser into Gotham City, and they're trying to ferret out the Batman. And the Batman seems to be some sort of potentially evil figure. And we find out that this Batman has locked down a large part of the city. He has these drones. He actually has a paramilitary that's all dressed up like Batman running around. They're actually marching and stuff like that. And there's this little piece of Gotham that, as long as it minds its own business, it gets to keep being Gotham. It is run by Commissioner Renee Montoya, which I think is awesome. They use her. Bullock is some old guy that's basically being retired. They're talking about how the Batman symbol, the bat symbol, used to be a positive thing. Now it's this frightening thing and whatnot. And Kate goes in as Batwoman. She got a different costume. This is her costume on the cover there. She flies in to talk to the commissioner, and clearly they have a prior relationship and whatnot, and about the fact she's got to take out the Batman. And the Batman is Tim Drake. And they're going to take out the Batman. They actually get attacked because talking to Batwoman is like a breach of their peace treaty, and these Batmen are going to attack. They end up shooting Renee Montoya. I don't know if she's dead or not by the end of it, but they're going to take down the Batman. She should have done something a long time ago about this, but she should have known that Tim Drake was going to turn out this way and all this stuff, but she's going to take him down. And then it says, to be continued, or you'll find more about the Batman in Detective Comics. Not even in Batwoman. It's going to be in Detective Comics. I can't remember what issue it is. Excuse me. It's issue 969. Hard. The sneezes. It starts in November. It runs into an ad. So the comic ends with this old, Kate here. And it's an ad for a comic that's not going to come out in November. And it's going to come out in a different comic. So this entire issue really is a pre-story for a comic that's going to happen in a different comic, 3 months from now. So as much as I enjoyed the story, that pisses me off. Why waste an issue doing that? I mean, and it's so far into the future that, I mean, I've forgotten about it by then. Except I do read Detective Comics, so I'll remind it and be re-irritated by this issue. I just think it's a crappy way to tell a story and to advertise. So this really basically felt more like it was a giant advertisement for me to read Detective Comics by the time I got to the end of it, even though I did like the story, because it's going to have no bearing and no effect on Batwoman, I don't think. Plus the fact I'm not sure how it's flung into the future, so I don't know if this is somehow tied into the whole DC Dark Metal event, because I'm not getting the Dark Metal event at all. I'm avoiding the event. So I wasn't too happy with the way the thing ends. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. You get to see some smooching between Kate and Renee, which is great if you're an old school Batwoman fan back from her Greg Rucka detective days. That's all fun stuff and whatnot. But wasn't really happy with the fact that it ends up basically feeling like it's a big giant ad for a comic that's going to be out in November. So boo on that. The regular Batman book, still really enjoying the war of jokes and riddles. This entire issue is Bruce Wayne has invited the Riddler and the Joker to a 9-course meal. So they're literally sitting at Wayne Mansion and they're eating this 9-course meal that's been it's being served by Alfred. And the idea is that that Bruce Wayne's mom always said that any argument you have can be worked out by the time you finish this 9-course meal. So it's lots of fun. You get to see some really cool stuff in it, some great characterization. I really love the Janin art. Continue to love the Janin art. I love the Janin, this version of the Joker. I just love the way he looks. I love his his kind of smirky face and whatnot. It cracks me up. He spends a lot of time not being happy, and I don't know, that amuses me, kind of a thing. I like him being this downturned face, so it's really genuine work for him to smile. So when he does smile, it is definitely more of a grimace kind of a smile. So I really like that. I really like the art through this. As always, the Janin art is just great. I mean, here's this great opening dinner sequence of the Joker and the Riddler and the people that are working for each side and whatnot. Just a lot of fun to see all that. If you're somebody who's into the giant rogues gallery, getting to see all those characters standing around and whatnot, I think is a lot of fun. But yeah, the whole point of the meal was, the premise is Bruce Wayne wants to know what their problem is, and they tell him it's Batman. And it's like, okay, I'm going to give you both, explain to me why it is that you think you should be the one that gets to take out Batman. And whoever I decide is the right person that should take out Batman, I'll give them $1 billion, a billion with a B, $1 billion, so you could buy off all the rest of, the side, the side you're against. You could buy off all those villains, and you could take out the Batman. Is supposedly what the premise is. And Bruce Wayne, actually, Batman is actually using it as a way for him to decide which one of the villains he's going to team up with to take out the other villain or something. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work out yet. We'll clearly find out in the next issue or two. But I've really been enjoying this. It's been a lot of fun. Rez, did you read any DC books this week?
I sure did.
What'd you read?
I read Cape Carson.
Cape Carson, a cybernetic eye.
Yes, issue number 11.
Yes.
I think we left off was when they discovered the actual cybernetic Mazra that was being
right.
And they're like, what's going on? Why, what is this? So now we're kind of going back to that, and we see that this doctor of some sort is explaining to Cave and his daughter Chloe that well, we made her because we saw all this coming, and we kind of lended a hand in your marriage, or some, kind of where we allowed you to still, create your daughter and live your life, but we were keeping an eye on your wife the whole time. And
Right.
So, yeah, pretty creepy. But we see that, Cave obviously is initially kind of like taken aback and not really fond of this newfound Mazra, and she's frightened too. She wants to talk to this robot and see more about it, but she kind of, she listens to her dad when he says, for instance, when the robot tries to talk to Chloe and calm her down, say, Chloe, you'll be okay. And then Cave's like, don't look at her, like don't look at it. And then next thing you know, we have a scene where that gooey monster thing that him and his son has taken over all these planets and invaded them. We see the robot Mazra take over and kind of save the day, and then disappear. And from that point, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know where she went, but she came to the rescue. We don't know where was it Asshole Johnny. We don't know where he's at.
Right.
That was funny though.
Yeah. So there's the cybernetic version of Cave Carson's wife and Chloe's mom. She looks like her body's kind of partway made of an old red tornado. Because the person who made him is Dr. Magnus. Dr. Magnus in DC Comics is responsible for Red Tornado. He's responsible for Amazo. He's responsible for the Metal Men, kind of thing. So he's been a good guy and a bad guy at some point or another in the DC world. And so they're freaked out by her. This cybernetic woman that's supposed to represent. It's kind of a androidish version of her. So that's all kind of wild and stuff. And of course, we get to see a little bit of flashback of the trauma that Chloe went through, seeing her mom, wilt away and die. So of course she's kind of standoffish. We find out that, of course, Carson's cybernetic eye has been an implant that these guys made and sent to that dimension so they could get all this information, because they needed to know all that underground stuff. They needed to be able to speak the language. So literally this thing's been running around in Carson's eye, and these guys are responsible for it. And that's why it ripped out and went flying off, because it was basically supposed to be going back to them to give them this information so they could create her to destroy the God thing that was in the crystal, which of course now is, possessed that.
And unleashed.
So it's all kinds of, I like this issue better than last issue, because this issue kind of explained enough stuff. Because last issue, if I remember correctly, we talked about it we just felt kind of lost. I mean, cool visuals, but what the hell is going on? And this issue did a decent job, I thought, of kind of grounding us back into, okay, we kind of know what's going on now. Okay, they're now, instead of just running, they're fighting the monster kind of thing. So we get to see some of that. And it's not just them hopping through dimensions and us being confused as to who is who and why are we talking to these people kind of a thing. So I appreciate that. I continue to love the artwork in this. The whole battle sequence, as it's the main monster is coming down to get them and all of that. I just really, really enjoyed it a whole bunch.
They took over. That was the best part for me. But
yeah. I mean, the headshot that's in it. I mean, we've got our wonderful characters that are
very well endowed.
Anatomically engorged. So I just love that picture. The first panel is that craziness, and then the next panel is the whole group of humans stand there going, well, this complicates things. I just love this, how casual that all is. It's like,
I was hoping you were going to talk about that panel, because I was like, that is so funny. It was so, this complicates things.
Because those things are giant. I mean, they're not like they're just people size. They're like, huge. I mean, people are like this big next to them. So I mean, they're crazy huge and stuff. So, I'm back to really liking the comic. Last issue, it was like, oh, I love the art, but I'm really confused now. It's become kind of a hot mess. I felt like this cleaned up a lot of that hot mess. It's back to being fun. I started to wonder though, how long is this book going to go on? His eye, the whole cybernetic eye thing has been explained. Is he going to get a new one at some point? By the time they're done fighting this monster dude, is it all over? Or is there going to be more? I don't know. But I'm going to enjoy it while it's here. And hey, you can't argue with any comic, of course, that gives you Bane skipping rope as a coloring page at the end of it, right?
Oh, no, right. I like this issue. I did. But I still feel like the plot, you know, like it's like, when are we gonna kill this villain? Like, when are we gonna kill him and move on to the next villain? So yeah, even though I feel like there was things explained with this current comic issue, I feel like they can definitely kind of, you know, give us another villain and then destroy this one. Because I'm tired of him. I'm tired of him and his goopiness.
Yeah, I think we're getting close, you know, with the whole powered up android version of Mom and them storming off to help her and stuff. I feel like we're getting close to taking that down.
Yeah. I just feel like it's coming to a close soon. To some degree, I suppose. I just kind of feel bad for Cave having to endure seeing his wife in such a sudden time, you know?
Yeah. Well, and they basically used his experiences with her, because that was all recorded in his eye. They're using that to basically create her personality, and what she knows about being this person and stuff is all based on his experience with her. That's what it's all based off of. So it's like something's been created out of your memories that's supposed to represent somebody that you, I mean, that he clearly is having a very hard time with her passing, with her dying. I mean, so that would be rough. Just being given that knowledge, whether you've actually interacted with her or not, just be given the knowledge that, oh, she's created based on your personal experience with her, is kind of, and that's an invasion of your, like, your own personal stuff, really. I mean, so, I mean, it's kind of a violation of sorts. So I can see all kinds of reasons why he's going to struggle with her. And then to be, you know, she's flying down and potentially going to get destroyed fighting this thing. You know, so you get this whole other conflict of, oh, she might kind of be like the person I love, and now she's going to get destroyed. I don't know. It would be all kinds of hard. So,
yeah.
Super Sons number 7. I love this book. I laugh my ass off every time I read it. In this issue, we get Damien has been hit by a guy who can increase time or slow down time, whatever, and he's made Damien really, really old. I mean, he's like 90 something, and there's all this hilarious part where they're back at Superboy's house, and the Teen Titans are waiting for Damien to get out because they're gonna make a battle plan to go and fight these villains, and Damien is in the bathroom taking forever, you know, quote unquote, like old people do or whatever. He gets out of the bathroom. He's like, okay, we're going to go now. He gets halfway down the hall and has to turn around and go back into the bathroom. He's like, shut up, don't say anything. And there's a lot of funny, goofy stuff in it. I just absolutely love. You know, they do fight some villains in it. There's some great one-liners, fabulous art. Jimenez's art is just brilliant all the way through it. He does such a great job of capturing these characters and their, you know, their personalities and you know, them laughing and goofing off and whatnot. Yeah, here's old Damien going in and out of the bathroom, complaining about stuff. They, you know, Superboy they end up inviting Superboy along. So, you know, Superboy's charging off to battle with them, even though Superboy's not a teen yet. So that's why Damien keeps saying he can't be part of the Teen Titans, because he's not a teen. The rest of the Teen Titans love him. They think he's great. He actually does a lot of help. He helps them in a lot of ways and whatnot. And so we kind of get past that in a sense. Basically, all of the Teen Titans end up inviting him to come and be a Titan if he wants to, regardless of what Damien says. So it ends with the two of them kind of arguing about stuff. They're collecting some evidence after the rest of the Titans have gone, you know, back to the Titan Tower or whatever. They're having kind of an argument and stuff, and something, you know, comes to get them, you know, kind of a thing, which is the kind of the running gag with the two of them. They're always kind of bickering and fighting with each other in one way, but they always kind of figure out how to pull together to fight whatever they're fighting. I just really love it. It's a fun comic. I enjoy it. I like laughing while I'm reading it, and just as far as a fun comic goes, I just enjoy it a lot. Quickly, Sandman. This is another one of those Jack Kirby specials. It was okay. I mean, they write some stories that mess around with the character, some that reminiscent of the original Kirby stuff. But I don't know. I'm beginning to think that all these really, not sure that I needed to have picked these up. These might have been things that would have been smart to have waited until they hit some dollar bin somewhere and then bought them. I wasn't like blown away by anything that was in this. It was a little bit of fun. But I don't know that it's worth the $5 to get the 2 or 3 stories in here. And then you get, of course, some backup stories that are actually reprints of Kirby work and whatnot. But yeah, I think I have one more of these coming. I think I have Black Racer coming. So we'll see what that's like. But these have been okay, but nothing real special about them. So yeah. And that's, I mean, I have a few DC books, but those are the ones I really kind of feel like talking about. Any others that you want to?
No, I almost read that Sandman, but I just didn't get to it.
Yeah, you're not really missing anything. They're okay, just redressing of the characters. It's not like they did anything with the character. They just told what would have been basically a stereotypical story of the era using that character. So
okay,
yeah, I would be more inclined go find the original Kirby stuff, because then you're getting the full on Kirby art and whatnot. Than to be picking this up.
Okay.
Because I'd be willing to bet you can find even single issues of Sandman original, the original stuff that Kirby did, for the same $5 or less than when you got this. I mean, granted, it's not a brand new comic. It's not going to be in the great, be in mint condition or anything, but you're still going to get. It's like those Commandees, right? It's like those Commandees that you got from Sleepy Reader. They're maybe not the perfect condition book, but you get to see the full effect of what Kirby was working with, his art, what the story was and whatnot, versus the Commandee Challenge that's out right now.
Yeah, I much prefer the older.
Yeah, and I bet you, other than issue number 1, I bet you they're about the same price. If you were to go to a comic book shop and buy them or whatnot, I bet you they're awfully close to the same price. So.
Yeah, that's probably why I'll track it down and see what's going on. They've been collecting a lot of Kirby's work lately, so it might be omnibus out there that.
Yeah, I think they're collecting them. Are they collecting them in that black and white newsprint kind of a thing? I know.
Well, they have those big but they also have the
giant size ones too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, true. Alrighty, well, I don't know of any real DC news. Oh, I know one of the things that I saw a couple days ago. They're putting out a deluxe format. So the deluxe format is kind of like the last thing that was a deluxe format was the Supergirl, being Supergirl or whatever that was. So it's more pages. It's thicker. It's square bound, kind of a thing, and it comes out. You get like 3 or 4 of them. They're more expensive, but there's no ads in them, nothing like that. But anyway, there's going to be a deluxe. It's coming out in a deluxe format. It's called Mystic U, I believe is what it's called. And it is going to tell of, it's basically some of the magical characters like in their college years. So the main characters they're using is Zatanna, of course. It's got Felix Faust's son is one of the other characters in it. And then there's some newly created characters that are going to be in it. And it's like their college years. It's like they're going to a magical university. So I guess Harry Potter, a la college year, I guess would be kind of what it is. I'm actually pretty excited about it. I like the deluxe format. Like I said, I love the DC Magic characters and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. I can't remember offhand who's writing and doing the art on it, but I'm sure I'm going to pick that up just because of the premise of that. So kind of excited for that as far as DC books kind of go and whatnot. I think DC is going to start moving towards that deluxe format with a lot of their kind of, if they're going to do a mini series, that's how they're going to do a lot of the mini series. Isn't that kind of more of that kind of a format, which I'm cool with, because the extra $1 or $2 that it costs me, I feel like I'm getting more for it because it's not inundated with a bunch of Snickers ads and crap like that. I'm just literally getting just the comic and nothing else. So yeah.
Okay. Remember that can definitely wound anybody up, right?
Right. So anyway, let's jump on to some indie books, because that's what we read. That's what we read lots of. So let's jump into those. What do you want to talk first?
Okay, I know this slipped under a lot of people's radar, but not mine. But I want to talk about The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, issue number 8. So we're back.
Nice.
We're back. You know what? And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize how great Archie Comics has become. They've really adapted to the time. So, if you're not checking out Sabrina, definitely check it out. Check out the other one, which is it's Jughead based kind of still Sabrina in the story, more so
Hunger. Isn't it called The Hunger? The Jughead one's called The Hunger.
They had the one that's a one shot, but they also have another one that it has all the characters.
Afterlife of Archie.
Afterlife of Archie. That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah, Francavilla art and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one, but I feel like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is just so much more my bag, and I relate to a lot more. Maybe I don't know, maybe because I grew up watching Sabrina.
There.
It's no Melissa Joan Hart kind of Sabrina though. That's just
no Salem the animated talking cat and
no. So far from it, so far removed. But this issue we pretty much see Sabrina. You know, we are introduced to her in her room, you know, getting dressed, getting all dolled up, and really excited because from last issue we're left off with her coven when she was going to be inducted into the coven and, you know, make her sacrifice to the devil, Mammon, whatever you want to call him in here. The whole ceremony was kind of interrupted by Harvey showing up, and then the whole coven killed him and then ate him. And so he was dead in last issue 7. And then Sabrina was starting like a reanimation ceremony with Josie and the Pussycats, and then not Josie, I'm sorry, Betty and Paige, and this one teacher who's actually a witch that really hates her, that's trying to destroy her and her whole family. But she doesn't know it yet. So now we're in issue 8 where she's in her room getting dressed, getting made up, dolled up. And she's singing. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna see Harvey again. He's alive. I love him." And so her cousin Ambrose and her familiar cat Sam, you know, come in and they're like, "Harvey's dead. What do you mean you're gonna see him? I brought him back to life." And then so Ambrose, he activates the Eye of Providence, which allows him to see in her mind and kind of retake what's been going on, recount all the actions that have brought her to this point where Harvey's alive, supposedly. So she doesn't know it. Sabrina doesn't know it, but her dad, the reason why she's in the care of her aunt is because her dad was actually banished and exiled by the coven and ultimately killed, put into a tree, and was there for, you know, eons, obviously, for a long time. And when Harvey was killed and eaten and brought back, her dad's spirit is now in Harvey. And so when she attacks Ambrose and attacks her cat familiar and goes to the diner, this little chocolate diner, as they call it, and goes and meets Harvey. And while she's, you know, talking to him, inside his, you know, his head is actually her dad. He's like, "This is so sweet. I never thought I'd see my daughter again, but I want," you know, he's trying to get her to reveal things, as obviously, and he's in Harvey's form, but it's really her dad. And she's running her mouth, telling him everything. Her mouth was running like diarrhea, telling him everything and about how she's a witch, how this is going on. And her aunts come out of nowhere and start attacking him. They take on their actual true form, which are like very hideous. They're like so scary. And they try to kill him again, tell her, "Well, the council's gonna get you if you don't bring him back. You have to." Hold on one second, sit down. And she refuses to, and they tell her, "Well, you know, the council's going to deal with this. They're not going to take lightly on you for this time." So we're kind of left off with, after her helping save him, you know, going back with her on her broomstick and him telling her, "I want you to tell me more about everything." Then she drops him off, and then we see that he's been torturing Harvey's actual parents, because he's not Harvey anymore. It's her dad. But he's torturing Harvey's parents. Like, literally, their body parts are missing. It's crazy. It's a dark comic, but it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So it's been a long time since the last issue of that came out, right?
Yeah, it's been like, honestly, I feel like a year. Because I mean, I remember, I remember I actually got a hold of issue 1 and 2, like near mint condition. Yeah, about a year ago. So it's been quite a long. It was the highest for a long time. Way too long for me. But let me tell you, I saw that. I clicked on that. So I gotta get it. I gotta read it.
Yeah. That makes it tough. That makes it tough when it's that long in between the stuff and whatnot. But I know everybody's really excited about it and stuff. So
yeah,
it sounds really cool. Of course, looks really cool. Of course. So
yeah, Robert Hack's illustrations are just freaking phenomenal. Like, I love Robert Hack's art. So, and Roberto Spasa, his writing is great. So they're a great pair. They're absolute great pair.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole horror line with the Archie stuff seems like it's been really cool for everything everybody's talked about and whatnot. It seems like it's been some really cool stuff. So yeah. Matter of fact, the first Archie comic I read, which for me, for people my age, is weird, is Afterlife of Archie. It's the first Archie comic book I've read. I never read those digests. They're setting on not setting on the counter as you're checking out at grocery stores and whatnot. Like everybody else I know, that's the stuff comics they read, it seems like, but not for me. Not for me. Let's see. So Edward's with us, and he is asking if either of us have read Jimmy's Bastards.
I was gonna tune in, but I haven't time.
Yeah. Now, is Jimmy's Bastards, is that a new Aftershocks comic? Is that what that is?
I think Garth Ennis is writing it. That's what we're into it.
Right. I'm not. I'm kind of I like a lot of Garth Ennis stuff, but it has to be particular things, I guess. Some of the stuff that he writes, I'm just not interested in the first place, so I end up not reading it. For some reason, he's not a writer that's like, I don't care what he's writing, I'm going to read it. But I mean, the stuff I do read of his, I really enjoy. But yeah, I mean, so if it's a war type comic, I'm just not into war type comics. And if that's what Jimmy's Bastards a war type comic, or is it or is it a mobster?
Like a British spy type thing, or something like some kind of like James Bondy kind of thing, or I think maybe at most, I mean, our latest was like maybe a gangster kind of thing. But I remember seeing Garth Ennis, and I thought immediately I would tune into it, even though my genre of choice wouldn't be war or
the spy kind of thing.
I'm not really into that stuff, but I do watch movies like that, but not really, like, it's not my favorite genre. My favorite genre is like obviously sci-fi or or fantasy or something like that.
Yeah. Alrighty. I picked up, speaking of comics that are late.
Oh yeah.
I picked up Southern Bastards. This is issue number 17. Right? Yeah. Been a long time since the last issue of this came out, largely due to the fact that there were lots of deaths in the creator group. The editor's father died, and then a week later, Jason Latour, the artist for this, his father died. So, as far as I'm concerned, all excusable reasons why your book doesn't come out, until you have your head back in the game to produce a book that you want to have out and stuff. So, so it took me a little bit to remember. Oh yeah, there was that other county that they're like that the football team is rival with, and they're not only football team rivals. It seems like they're also criminal rivals too, because of course our Coach Boss, he's got all this other stuff going on the side. I mean, he's got those ex-players that run meth and all other kinds of stuff and whatnot. So clearly it's almost like a gang war, except the gang war has more to do with messing each other's football players up at this point, is what it seems like. But they're burning each other's, field houses down. All kinds of craziness goes on, in the issue. There's clearly some other stuff going on, like maybe the town is losing their faith in Coach Boss because the mayor, well, not really the mayor, because he's trapped with the rebreather and in the wheelchair. His wife seems to be doing some behind the scenes shenanigans, maybe with the realtor lady, and the sheriff is, by the end of this, is saying that he wants in on whatever they're doing too. So things could go really bad as far as that goes. And we get a character I've been really excited to really get more about at the very end of it. Tubbs's daughter finally shows up. We've been building up to her. She's been, living in his house, starts wrecking stuff and whatnot. We finally see her show up at the end of this, and she is military trained. She's young, she's fierce, she's tired of all these white rednecks and whatnot, and she's just going to wreck a bunch of people, I think.
I cannot wait for this.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, one thing I want to bring up is that this Coach Boss, he's a despicable bastard. Like this dude sleeps with the stick that he killed Earl Tubbs with and calls it Earl. Like,
Yeah.
how disgusting of a person. Like, I mean, like every time I see his character, I'm like, please die. Like, I don't like you. I hate everything about you. You're a disgusting old man. You know?
Yeah.
Just and then the people he trained, like this one guy, the one who's wearing the Spawn shirt, which I like that shout out. The whole tribute to Spawn. They made sure
Yes.
every panel that he was
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's illustrating this time? Because it didn't remind me of just Latour.
It says it's Latour, but yeah, it doesn't have
Doesn't have a signature.
yeah, but it says Latour art and color, so it's all him. But you're right, it's a lot looser. It's not as yeah, and I don't know if that's just because he finally just had to put it together to get it out. You know what I mean? Because it had been so long and whatnot. And I'm sure while he's doing it, he's under he's under duress while he's working on this. So, I think that's what I'm chalking it up to for now. And that's what the change is.
Oh, it wasn't bad or anything. It was just different. I definitely noticed it for sure. And so I was meaning to bring that up, but I'm really glad that the daughter's back because I was waiting for this. They've been hinting towards it in the last few issues. I think since issue 14, with her Acts About My Feminist Agenda cover. So we've been hinting towards her appearance and wrecking more shit. So glad to see her come back. I'm glad to see that Coach Boss is leaning to someone, like he's kneeling down to someone, like now he knows he's not the only one in power.
Right. Well, the freaky people from Alabama, what's up with them? With the kind of weird party mask that dude is wearing? I'm like, who are these crazy people? I mean, so clearly they're, clearly these country bumpkins out here in the sticks, of Alabama are under the thumb of people from like, I don't know where it was. Where'd they say it was? I don't know Alabama well enough.
He's at Mobile.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, like that weird mask he's wearing and stuff. I mean, he's wearing some sort of pink.
Little masquerade kind of mask.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing they're really funky glasses with little dangly things off of them. I mean, I don't weird. So that's gonna be a whole thing, I'm sure. So
yeah, I'm just glad to see that this guy is gonna, because I like when he said, I want to talk about reparations, because they wrecked his cars, and so I hope that they take those cars out of that guy's his fingers and toes, start to make some put him some vice grips or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
He reacts to that.
It'll be interesting, but
What did you think about the conversation between him and the sheriff, which Coach Boss and the sheriff, when he was talking about, he said, well, it did happen on the field, his accident. And I'm like, man, that dude does not. He's such a wimp. He's so weak. He won't even confront him about how this guy took away his football career and ruined his marriage.
Well, but he also still has to be careful because he knows this guy could get him killed at any moment.
What? But he's a sheriff.
The whole town. Yeah, so what? But the whole town sat there and watched him beat a guy to death on Main Street outside of a barbecue joint.
I feel like Coach Boss is losing his.
He is. Yeah. He is, and that's why the sheriff, after having that conversation, the sheriff then decides he's gonna team up with the mayor's wife and that real estate agent. So that conversation kind of tips him to, yeah, I'm gonna go do that instead. So, no, interesting.
I can't wait to see him fall out of grace officially.
Yeah. I'm continue to really enjoy the comic. Always interested in seeing where it goes and stuff. I mean, Coach Bosch is a total ass. They're non-apologetic about the fact that he's a total ass. But there was a kind of seeing him grow up was interesting. I mean that doesn't excuse.
No, yeah.
Who he is and how he behaves and whatnot, but it was interesting to see how he came up to where he is and stuff. That was interesting. I got saw it too. So I'm just I'm curious to see what just what's next. Like I said, I hope it's gonna be. But there's all these different working parts. That you got this guy from this other county. You've got Coach Boss. You've got the townsfolk that are doing their own thing. You've got Tubbs's daughter who's now shown up. You got these people from Mobile there. I don't know. There's a lot of working parts in this book now. They could all kinds of explode, right? So,
I mean, the adversity that he had to go through. Yeah, definitely doesn't excuse his character. But sometimes I feel like how long can we go on this man holding on to these type of characteristics, and we still find him an intriguing character. I mean, one of these days he's gonna have to break down and either be some sort of reluctant hero of some sort, or yeah, you know, I know it's not gonna happen. You know,
yeah, I don't think so. I think he's an unredeemable character. I don't think he's I think he's an unredeemable character as far as that goes.
Oh yeah, they're not redeeming, but we're gonna have to see some kind of defeat very soon, and see another villain maybe come to the rise. You know.
Sure. Sure. Well, this kind of story with these many different characters and whatnot, you know, they could spin off and spend a lot more time on. Is her name Rebecca? I want to think it's Rebecca, but Tubbs's daughter,
Becca, or yeah.
They could spend, you know, they could focus on her again, and it could be quite a while before we get back to the
pinnacle,
the explosion that's going to be this town and all the stuff that's going on in it right now. So, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. What do you think of that having a yellow cover? I mean, the covers have been like all red and a few blue ones. Let me get this kind of.
I like the top. It reminds me of Jason Latour's Loose Ends. You know how they were changed, the covers changed.
Right. Right.
Well, I feel like maybe he's bringing that flavor to this. You know, maybe Loose Ends was pretty well received. I never looked at the sales on that particular issue, that series, but I loved it in every way, and so. Glad to still see him back in the game after such a tragedy with his family.
Yeah. Edward says that he likes Southern Bastards, that he's reading it in trade, which is probably a good way to read it.
Well, that's how I was reading originally. I was actually reading in trade up until issue, I think, 15, because I had quite a few issues that trade paperbacks, and then I said I'm gonna jump on single issues, and it's been really good since. But part of me wants to go back to trade collecting.
Yeah. You know, definitely with a lot of these independent books and whatnot, there's definitely something to be said for, you know, for getting them in trade, because then you're not, I mean, you have to wait longer for them, but at the same time, then when you get them, you're getting a nice chunk to read all at one time and whatnot. That's for sure. Yeah. All righty. What else do you want to read? What else do you want to talk about?
I read American Way.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, issue number 2. I read number 1 as well, and then I jumped to segue to number 3. Which one?
2.
Okay, yes, 2. So, number 1 was okay for me. It was just pretty much, you know, seen as one black superhero who was modified by the government to, and we really don't learn his true purpose, like why the government snatched him up and experimented on him, but we know that they did. Yeah. We know that they kind of him to have a high threshold of pain where he can still feel pain coming at him, even though he's a superhuman of some sort, and that their life expectancy is usually shortened by these experimentations. What I'm saying, because we meet various different ones throughout. We meet Missy, who's like a really southern kind of old woman, you know, like, and we meet this other woman on the cover who is kind of like a part of like some kind of IRA-esque kind of group who's like against the establishment, trying to, I don't know what she's against Vietnam, she's against, you know, injustice to African Americans, she's, you know, against all these different forms of injustices. And then we have a few other that we see too, but I liked it enough. It seems very inhuman-esque in a way, because we had these superheroes, but I don't know. I was a little lost in the first issue. The second issue was a little bit more easier to comprehend and see where the plot went. Seeing how, you know, we see her where she's taken in this moment where her boyfriend's killed along with 6 other people that she knew. That sends her in a whirlwind where she's going to go and she's going to cause destruction by blowing up a police station, harming some people in the process. And we see the one African-American superhero that we were introduced in the first issue after defeating this one local Black Panther-esque, more extreme type of leader. We see that after he saved a white man who came in and braided in and called him the N-word, after he saved that guy over the Black Panther-esque kind of leader, we see him go through a trial in the second issue and kind of make it off scot-free. But now the whole neighborhood hates him because it's like the traitor. He's a race traitor of sorts. Right. Yeah. I like all the political content and the social commentary in here. I do. Just wondering where exactly it's going for issue 3.
Right, because I believe this is either 6 or 8 issues. So for me, this issue you know, like you said, it has the trial. We get a riot going on. You get some kind of explanation as to how a riot may spin out. Whatever your take is on that, you know, we get kind of the perspective of, you know, how does a riot start and why do they wreck stuff, kind of thing. And I thought that was interesting, because I think you know, and clearly this is just one writer's take on that whole experience. But I know there's plenty of people who always wonder when a riot breaks out someplace and they destroy their own neighborhoods and their own shops. You know, it's like, why is that happening? Why do they do that? You know, clearly they're just hoodlums. They're not there for some sort of a bigger purpose. You know, they're rioting to be hoodlums, not rioting because of an injustice or a perceived injustice and whatnot. So I liked that bit of writing in there. I thought that was interesting, to give a voice as to why the hell that happens. So I appreciate that part of it. Yeah, Missy, our Southern Belle, you know, character, married to a governor who can't run anymore. We find out that she has like terminal cancer. You know, is it based on the fact that she had superpowers? Is it not? Doesn't really matter. She's terminal, but she's decided that the first issue they wanted her to run as a politician. She's decided that in this she is going to. And of course, for her, she's running under the candidacy of you know, forget all that race stuff. It's not about race. It's about heritage. We're running on heritage.
I just, you know, honestly,
and from the South, what's that?
I was so inflamed reading that bull crap. Like, to me, like, because, you know, like, I lived
which bull crap? The heritage thing?
Yeah. The whole hair. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, especially, I find it especially, with what's currently going on in the United States, with the whole Confederate thing, the whole statue thing, the whole flag thing. Anybody who knows me knows my stance on it. So I mean, so it's just like, oh my God, it's like they predicted this perfectly, which I say that as a white guy, right? Because of course and I don't live in the South. I've never lived in the South. Quite honestly, didn't realize that there was many statues and all that stuff going on in the South that there are. But at any rate, it just felt like that the writer knew in advance what was going to be happening to address it. But I'm assuming that it's a more prevalent thing where you all are at versus where I am at. So maybe it's not predicting what's going to happen. It's currently the shit that's happening now anyway. And so he's just writing about it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and I think I found it inflammatory also, because I think I'm coming at it to some degree from the same place that you're looking at it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if everybody's going to see it that way, but I think it's interesting in the book because you get these different aspects going on. You do have this person who's running on heritage, the big old, Confederate flag behind her or whatnot. And you've got this, our main African-American character who is really trying just to protect his own neighborhood. Mm-hmm. He kills a guy who's a psychotic killer, mm-hmm. who happens to be killing drug dealers now, but he fully intended on just killing whoever, right? Mm-hmm. And so he took the guy out, and in the process of taking him out, ended up saving a white cop. So now he's
N-word,
right, and the cop is a despicable person. So now he is suddenly being labeled by, his people in his neighborhood, as a race traitor and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. So I think there's a lot of really interesting, stuff going on there. And Edward is pointing out that Ridley is an African American writer, and I am aware of that he is an African American writer. Yeah, Ridley, the guy who wrote it. Didn't he write the 12 Years a Slave, or I think he's responsible for that. I think.
Yeah, the book has a lot of commentary. And I really appreciate it. I really do. But like you said, there are some things that really Like,
but I don't, right. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I think they're right. They're. I mean, I like books that elicit.
Yeah, a response.
Yeah, elicit, some sort of a thing, so whatnot. So it's not being done poorly. No. I don't think so. So I'm really interested to see where it goes. And our characters that come here, Dana, or no, her name is Dana. Danny was her boyfriend. They're kind of the weathermen. They're kind of represent the weathermen from our time. The people there in Chicago and in Pennsylvania, I think too. Who kind of were against capitalism, against the pigs, against government kind of thing. They had a pretty lofty ideology of we could have a utopia if we could get rid of the man putting the thumb to us, and they're brutal. I mean, the police show up to one of their hideouts. They try to give up, and the police gun them down. I mean, they're literally waving white flags. The police kill and burn everybody in the building, which is reminiscent of there in Pennsylvania. No, Pittsburgh, right? Mm-hmm. Was it Pittsburgh? Boy, I'm mixing my 60s history up, where they had that house, and they ended up shooting tear gas, and the tear gas ended up igniting the building, and the men, women, and children burnt in the building, reminiscent of that. So they're tapping into, because this thing's set in the 70s, so they're tapping into, this book is semi-fictitious version of what is happening in our world, right?
Yeah. I was kind of not sure. I wasn't sure. I had a feeling it was in the 70s because I kept seeing all the references to the Vietnam War, and then the all the afros and
the clothes. I mean, really, definitely. And I didn't know if you. I don't know if you knew this. There was actually a American Way before this.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I knew that because I ran across issues of American Way prior, like when I go back issue hunting. So I honestly, when I saw this listed, I was like, what we already have this. What is this? A newer? Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, I want to go pick up the trade, because the trade before this tells the story of how they became superheroes, and that they were kind of fake superheroes for a while and then become real superheroes. So I'm curious about all of those aspects of it and whatnot. I really enjoyed the issue. I think it's really interesting and really intriguing and stuff. So I'm enjoying it from that kind of social commentary kind of a aspect of it, to see. And I'm looking forward to reading a African American writer's take on this stuff. Mm-hmm. we get lots of hot takes from from white creators. I'm curious to see what different voice potentially gets lent to it with these creators on it and stuff. So looking forward to all of that. And so far, it doesn't feel
pandering.
Right. It's not. I mean, it's not. To me, it doesn't feel like it is heavily telling thing from one side. I mean, the whole thing is complicated. And if you're being honest about it, I don't think there's any way to write it and it not be complicated. Like I said, the African-American hero that's in this, his life is extremely complicated. The position that he is in and whatnot. None of it's simple. I mean, even the Missy and the running the heritage thing and whatnot, it's complicated. It's not, I mean, she's not at this point yet a caricature. It's not like she's just it could easily be written as the bad guy and that. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's just a different part of the whole thing that's going on. So I enjoyed all those aspects of it. So for sure. Let's see what else. I want to talk about Winnebago. I can't say it. Yes, Winnebago Graveyard, issue number 3. There we go.
I'm telling you, I had it right here. I already had it. I read your mind.
Yeah. So I said in my video this week when I got the book that I love the art in it, and that's kind of really where I'm at. I kind of like the whole late 70s, early 80s kind of hills have eyes, weird occultists, we're tourists. We wander into the little town and bad stuff happens kind of thing. I kind of like that vibe. So there is art in here I really like, and there's art in here that I look at the page and I go, what the F is going on? Because I cannot tell. So there are places where the craftsmanship in this I think is cool. I like the style, for instance, but I think the craftsmanship on this is how you show panels to tell a story. I'm like, I don't know. Like the whole when they're inside one of the they're inside of a Winnebago looking for keys or whatever, and there's somebody outside, and this whole him rushing out to get the person. I couldn't tell if they were on top of the Winnebago, if they were on the side of the Winnebago, if they were floating in space. I'm just like, I do not understand what's going. So there were a few moments that there was some there was some stuff that went on, some paneling and stuff that
What about the beginning too when they escaped? And it's like that was confusing too, because like you knew they escaped and they were already out of the area, but then you kind of see it's where they're like, you have to go out the window, and you're like, whoa, what window? Did they already leave out the, So you're right, the transitioning and the
I mean, so they're they're here, we're inside the Winnebago, kind of checking things out, cool, whatever. Yeah, I found some cereal. Then there's like I don't know, this weird background, which I'm assuming is the inside of the trailer. He's looking out the window, some guy in a hood, and then here it's like, what's this? I mean, did he crawl out the roof and he's running across the roof, and then I don't understand. I mean, I love this frame, this guy, the crowbar, but I don't understand that at all. I'm confused.
I was a little confused as well. Like I said, there's a few transitions here where the placement of the characters and the actions don't really match up quite well. But overall, like I like this comic. Yeah. And I would say why I like it a lot, because I feel like Steve Niles is not phoning in with the script.
Yeah.
That's one big reason. And I like the gory. Yeah, I like the gory.
Yeah. Where the I don't know, bat demon thing just rips that sheriff apart, and then later on, which to me is classic horror movie of that era. Are the dad characters being attacked? His hand's been ripped off. He's like, run, I'll fight him off. You're thinking, oh wow, and it tears his face off. It tears Dad's face off, but he's still fighting. His face is gone, and he's still shooting the gun. I'm like, oh my God, that is so classic horror movie of that era.
Yeah. You know what? But you know what's crazy though? You notice a lot of the panels and the illustrations of the wife. She looks kind of grotesque looking at some points, like where she's not. She's like attractive, and then she's not really. And you're like, well, I'm like, so what does she really look like? Because we're getting a whole lot of different versions of her in this comic, in one whole comic.
The son is the same way. The son is the same way. There's, as far as that's one of the things I would think would be the hardest thing about doing a comic book.
Yeah,
it's consistently drawing the same character over and over again from all the different angles. I mean, I just. I can draw a person once and I'm done. I can't draw them again. So kudos to the people who can. But yeah, and that's something else that the art has kind of falls down in. You're right, because the son's the same way. The son, there'll be times where it's like, okay, he's a cute little kid, and other times it's like, oh man, somebody hit him with the fugly stick. I mean,
I felt bad for thinking that, but I was so thinking, I was like, oh my God, what happened to that kid? Because the other one who they were spying on them kind of looked a lot. A lot cuter. I was like, why? What happened here?
But I really love the artist's art when it comes to the crazy scenes. I mean, some of this stuff is so like reminiscent of like Bill Sekowitz also, just in the style of it and stuff. I mean, but yeah, he gets his face ripped off and he's still shooting and then the face is like hanging off of the bear or whatever the heck it is, claws and stuff. Oh, and he goes back to look at him. Oh yeah, so
that was crazy.
some good stuff there. So like I said, some of it's really cool and really great, and other parts of it, it's like I like this whole the whole fight scene. I get what's supposed to be going on, but like here, I don't know what did he throw her at the sheriff who's laying down on a rock? I don't know. Like I said, there's some stuff here. It's like, oh wow, I'm not. There's parts of it I really really like, and there's other parts I'm like. Yeah. I think it's only it's like only one more issue, I think.
Yeah, usually signs on to the series. There'll be like four issues, and they might come back for another 4 issues. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised end it right after fourth.
Yeah, so I mean, if it's one more issue that ends it, I'm cool. I'm cool if it was fun. It was fun to read, kind of a thing. I would like to see this artist on, hone craft more and come back and do something else, because I like I said, the stuff I like of hers, I really, really like. So. But I don't think it's going to be very deep. I think it's going to just have some crazy heavy thing at the end of it. We killed the monster, and as they're walking away, you see it raising up in the background somewhere, right?
Yeah.
That's what I.
Maybe I think one person's gonna make it alive. Maybe the son. Maybe the mother. Maybe they both sing their teeth.
Right. I mean, that's kind of what I'm expecting it to be, and then, like I said, you see the monster at the last second at the end of it to reinforce that it's a horror, that kind of genre of a thing. So, yeah, cool. Alrighty, what else? What else did you read?
I don't know if you read the latest issue of Regression, issue number 4.
I did not. Last issue was the last issue I got because I had dropped it.
I knew it. I was like, I had a feeling you dropped it, but I would totally drop this too, because it's not going anywhere. Besides the fact that we see him acting crazy, he finally realizes in this issue that he is taken over by this creepy past life person, whatever. And then his friend Annie, the one we meet in the first issue, she comes over. He tries to attack her. He goes to her gallery, tries to attack her. She attacks him back, and then he comes back, like the actual real guy comes back in his mind, and then she offers to give him help by calling this woman named Carmen, who has the same abilities to kind of take him on
another regression therapist. Oh my God, yeah. Why would you go back to another one after that?
Exactly, right? But yeah, she takes him to another one, and now this lady has an arm. She's armed with her gun, fully locked and loaded. She's like, look, we're gonna do this, but you don't mind the gun, okay? that's my kind of lady right there. That's me right there, all the way. But yeah, that's pretty much ended there. I mean, it's not. And we also see like there's a creepy group that actually has, like, there's an omnious group of some sort that they've been taken over with past life regressions, and so they're looking for him. So they have this group that's after him while he's having this past life regression therapy. So yeah, craziness is gonna ensue, obviously, but I'm not really super intrigued.
Are there lots more bugs?
Yeah, I mean, you just keep seeing him, like, towards the end, where he's riding in the car with her, he's freaking out because he sees bugs and maggots crawling out of the vents in the car, and he sees it crawl out of every orifice in her body, and then he wakes up and realizes it's a dream, and he says he doesn't know if it's a fusion of both or not, or what's real and what's not. I like Colin Bunn, I really do.
Yeah, same here.
But I'm just not, I'm not the most hugest fan of the series so far. It's okay. It's just okay. I can go without it.
Yeah, that's why I dropped it. I mean, I read some of his other stuff. I'm enjoying a lot more. Some of his other horror stuff, so I'll stick with those. And
got better, to be honest. That was really 70s-esque horror, kind of, like really gory, killing a whole house full of people, tracking them down one by one. That Night Trap by Lion Forge or Roar City Comics was a lot better for me than this Regression.
Cool. Right. I don't know if you kept reading Black Cloud or not.
Didn't get to that one.
But this issue number 5 ends the arc. She kind of deals with Todd in this, is the big thing that happens in it. It's a great artwork of her battling Todd, because Todd is like super giant sized at this point. She has to drag Todd back to the real world because, of course, if she can't get Todd back to the real world, she has to worry about this whole governor, that hired her to like make him disappear for a while. His candidacy is like going through the roof. He wins a landslide because the whole, oh my gosh, what's happened to my son thing makes people enamored with him, and so he gets the sympathy vote somehow. At any rate, but he's our Trump analogy, basically. I mean, they all wear red hats that say something huge, make something huge. I mean, it's kind of a play on the whole Make America Great thing and whatnot. But she ends up dragging Todd back, in a way through the realm, and she's now stuck back in our regular world, trying to figure out what she's gonna do now because there's such chaos and anarchy going on in the kind of dream state that she was from. And it ends with a whole bunch of these supporters harassing some African American people and her kind of going to fight for them. It seemed to be kind of what it is. I'm trying to think what the heck the hats say. Dream huge, that's what it is. Dream huge is the hats they're wearing, which I think is also a play on the fact that she is this kind of from this dream realm. So I don't know, there may be an right. So there may be an extra aspect in it for that. So curious to see what that all plays out and whatnot. But wonderful art. The Greg Hinckley art and the Matt Wilson colors, just for me, the eye candy aspect of it is just really awesome. I just really love the tones and stuff that go on. And for this kind of interesting fight, is she kind of drags Todd under the water and up through the water into the regular world and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be before we get the next arc of it and whatnot, but I really enjoyed this. It was interesting. I feel like there's a lot that is hinted at but not said, so there's plenty of stuff to go from here. I mean, what is it about this realm? There's all this more stuff on it that I'm kind of intrigued about and whatnot. I don't know if it's a comic that like, oh my gosh, you got to read this, but I'm really liking it. But it is kind of odd and quirky and maybe doesn't answer a whole lot of stuff. Just gives you a lot more questions. How does this place exist? Who are these people? I mean, how does it all work for sure? There's a lot that's not answered there. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's not bothering me. I'm going to keep reading it. Like I said, I don't know when we'll see another arc of it, but when it shows up, I'll read it too. Because by about issue 3, I really started digging in the book. The first couple issues I was shaky on. By issue 3, it started. Some of the answers are there, or at least enough framework for me to wrap my head around kind of what's going on. And that she was this kind of warrior in this kind of dream realm. She helped cause her evolution. She basically cut the head off of the dragon kind of a thing. And then for some reason panicked and ran and left all the other people there to try and pick up, so if you were like the leader of our evolution, you overthrow the government, and the second you overthrow the government, you disappear. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, wait, you were the person supposed to help us make this work, and now you're gone. So there's that. She's kind of dealing with that. Every time she comes back to the dream realm, she's responsible. And there's a lot of people who would like to take her to task because she left them in a lurch, and the whole place has kind of gone to hell in a handbasket because of it. And then on top of it, she comes back for a visit. She leaves Todd, and Todd grows up to be this giant. He's as big as the Empire State Building, and he's just like eating people and wrecking shit. And so they're like, not only did you screw us up, so we have no
damn Todd,
no government, you left us Todd too, who's a total douchebag, destroying everything. So yeah. So I like those parts of it.
Yeah, I was behind on it. I was behind on to get to this issue, but yeah, I picked up a lot more in later issues. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed Black Cloud for sure, and the art is definitely like it makes it a keeper.
Yeah. Alrighty, any other books you want to talk about?
Yeah. I read Baby Teeth #3.
All right. See, this is another horror book I dropped. I feel like I had too many horror books, so I started dropping horror books.
Yeah.
So, I love that cover. So how is issue 3?
I had to go back and read issue 2 just to get acquainted with 3, but kind of leave off more with her telling a story still to the baby via webcam, explaining more about the sister. We find out the sister is a drug dealer of sorts, and she gets in a lot of trouble, but she's there for her, and she's telling the baby, about how she discovered that the baby was repulsed by milk, how he stopped taking milk, and now the baby apparently has retractable teeth that allows it to suckle his mother and suck her blood. And so she's trying to figure out ways to give this baby his nutrients through blood. But the sister tries to give the baby her blood. Baby screams so loud and such a horrid sound that it opens up a portal in the sky and lets out this demon raccoon thing that feeds on the baby father, that we find out later on in the end of the issue, but they don't know it just yet. The sister actually discovered it and then told the sister that he ran off somewhere and she couldn't find him. So when she's leaving a recording to the baby, she's like, yeah, your father just didn't care about you. I know I'm not supposed to say that as a parent, but he left, he's gone. He never came back. When really the sister hid from her that the raccoon thing killed him and fed on him. and on his intros and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not bad. It just some part of it, some element of this book, it seems tad bit predictable. Not that it's bad, but it's like, well, you know, I feel like I've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything new gonna happen? Like, I don't know why. I just feel like I've seen this in so many different other films and books. So I'm kind of teetering on whether I should continue on with it. But I do like it. I like that it's very horror-esque. I like that this baby's a demon of some sort that is, you know, they're trying to figure out how to feed this baby blood without killing the mother, because the mother even went as to trying to, you know, calculate how much blood it needs per day to be, you know, nutrients. And she's like, well, the baby needs over a pint, so that's more than I can give, because I mean,
right, not every day. Yeah,
I can't do this. So, you know, so yeah, it's a pretty decent book.
Yeah,
I like the narration a lot. You know, the mother's narration to the baby.
Yeah. There were aspects of it I enjoyed, and there were aspects of it I just, I wasn't quite getting behind, I guess. So yeah.
But they do have a fanatical group of some sort, like kind of like, I guess.
Well, yeah, because in issue 2, they show some sort of like government sort of thing that
like Illuminati
organizes to put down this sort of stuff. And so they're sending some woman out to kill the baby, right?
Yeah. So in this issue, we see that woman, you know, but she actually misses the sister when the sister's going out to search for the boyfriend, baby father, to get his blood to feed to the baby. The assassin goes to the house, and somehow, I guess, you know, we obviously know that she survived the assassination attempt, but we will see probably in issue 4 how that exactly occurred. And she speaks about her sister in past tense, as well as her father. So I don't know if the father died and the sister died as well. You know, the way she records her statements to the baby, she's saying, "Oh, your sister, your aunt, my sister was a great person, and my dad was," you know. So it's like, oh, okay, are they dead? You know?
Yeah. Well, I got the kind of impression where she's recording it from is almost like a wasteland, like everything's been wrecked.
It seemed like it was like an Indiana Jones kind of like tunnel where they're going to find.
Okay. So more like ruins of some sort. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me when I first saw that graveyard kind of thing. It was some kind of like forbidden land where, you know, she wasn't necessarily supposed to be, but she is. She's trying to find some answer to take the baby out, but not really take the baby out. You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. Let's see. I read Astro City, issue number 46. Yeah. So yeah. So in this issue, we kind of get an answer. We see what happens with the transformation of our pop culture, you know, hero who's kind of changed with that has to do with music, that's changed over all the eras and whatnot, that supposedly they disappear. Of course, this issue heavily, you know, breaking the fourth wall. You know, our purple guy is talking to us. You know, I mean, he's telling us the story, but then after he's done kind of telling us what happened as best as he can put back together again, because he can't remember for sure, you know, kind of a deal. You know, we're telling him, as the audience, we're telling him, look, you're the next incarnation, right? I mean, towards the end of it, and he's like, no, it can't be me, even though he's got all the stuff that shows it's him, you know, kind of a thing. So, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. This is interesting. I don't know what's next though. It's kind of like, okay, was that the end? Is that the end of him and
It honestly did. I mean, one element that stuck out the most that I really liked, I love the nod of saying how, well, the punk culture, the counterculture has ended, and the music really truly died. The last true expression of music was either the rock subculture or rock. I mean, not rock, rap. So maybe music is finally gone. And I like that. So I was like, well, why didn't they just bring back Glamorex in a reincarnation as a rap, you know, superstar? Because that would have been, you know, like, instead of saying he's dead and not really showing us what it looked like, I would have really enjoyed that. And then seen another issue with Glamorex as now a rapper, because that would have been awesome, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah.
But
for sure, well, but Glamorex doesn't even get to be rap. I mean, doesn't even get to be punk though, because right as he's starting to shift into punk is when they get, you know, the guys with the suns attack and
Yeah, exactly.
mess the whole thing up and whatnot.
Yeah, so I would like to see both those transformations though, the punk and the rap, for sure.
Yeah. So we end up with this, right? I mean, it's heavily implied that he is the latest incarnation, whatever he is.
Yeah.
You know, this.
But he's segue in between two portals of some sort. Like he's in a mental institution, out of his mind, can't speak or eat or anything. And then the other part of him is able to transport himself into nether worlds of some sort and view everybody else from different, different voids or some sort.
Right. And then there's the observer thing too, that's out there kind of stalking him the whole time too. So I'm assuming elements of that will show back up again at some point. They'll tell other stories, and then we'll get something else that has to do with that again. I would guess. Yeah.
I liked the issue. I liked it a lot.
Me too.
There were some parts that kind of felt confusing, like when he was recalling his story and kind of giving it back. But again, an unreliable narrator. He wasn't quite sure what happened to him. So it was to be expected that I would have some confusion because he had some confusion. So he was definitely there. And that's the one thing I say about Kirk Busiek. He's such a great writer because you made feel that confusion. So that's great characteristics of a good writer. So I like that a lot. I look forward to seeing what happens next. I feel like we're gonna go back into another superhero or a villain story. I think the one sticking out to me the most was that one where we had that villain that was stuck on the island for like over 30 years. That one was really good. Like I still can't stop thinking about it, and it's been months since that came out.
Oh, lots of months. I mean, that's probably 5 months ago.
Yeah, it was my favorite one so far. Yeah. And the other one where the guy was like a billionaire, like he was a huge businessman, like he was always buying up stuff, and he had like he had built access to
secret base up in the moon or whatever. Yeah.
That was another favorite one of mine as well.
Yeah.
He just had some really, really rich characters, right?
Yeah, here recently he's got some really good, like either one shot or 2-issue stories that have been really, really good for sure. Yeah. He's got a nice big sandbox to play in too. He's over the years, 100+ issues, you put all the different runs together, gives him a really great thing to work with him.
I always click back into that series, so it's always fun to kind of read back on his Image run and his the other runs of it from other different publishing houses and stuff. Right,
for sure. Alrighty, any others you want to talk about?
It's from last week, but I had to mention it because it was so damn good. Kill or Be Killed.
Kill or Be Killed, yes.
Yes, issue number 11.
Yes.
It was so darn good. Oh my god. Like the narration is so great. Like, remember what we talked about last time we talked about this a month ago, right? So we were talking about, well, okay, this is gonna happen after he sees the demon, and I mean he actually then Edward Baker said, oh, so we're like, Ed, come on, you're like,
he's watching the video. He was watching the video. I'm gonna write that in.
Yeah, it was so awesome. So I feel like he read he watched us or something, because everything we were saying, it just came out in the next issue, and I loved it. So, and seeing this guy like literally, my favorite part was the ending where he's like waiting for Kira for this Halloween party for her to show up at the cafe so they can go escort to the party, and this one Russian guy, says, I look for Kira and her boyfriend Dylan, and so he's like, have his mask on and says, hey, you asked about Kira? And then he's like, yeah, I from a exchange student program. He's like, why, you don't believe me? He says, no, stab.
He stabs it to the throat. Yes.
Throat and leaves. I was like, what? How cold-blooded, man. Like, cold-blooded. And then calls Kira and says, hey, Kira, just tell me the address of the party so I can honestly meet you. Like, total nuts.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the upside is he's not going to be sick anymore because he just killed somebody else again, right?
Yeah, but so I'm like, okay, so is he like, is this demon real or not? What's going on? We don't know what manifestation is really true or not, But
right, because you're like, I love it because they're all like, you're like, oh yeah, he's just off his meds. Yeah. He's clearly just his schizophrenia kicking in. He's back on his meds. He's not having any problem. He's not getting sick and whatnot. And then he has that one, when you're, how when you see something as a kid, it's just like, it's always in your brain then, you can never get rid of it. And I guess that's what the demon was. I saw it on those covers because my dad drew lots of pictures of it, and that's why it's there. Except I don't ever remember having that burnt into my brain. The sudden, it's like I'm logically explaining to myself how this works, how it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make sense. You can still see the kind of like, oh God, but at the same time, those are symptoms of schizophrenia. I think I'm fine. Yep. It's really it's so we as the reader still really don't know. Because he could, that's how that all works. So yeah. It's fascinating. I love it. Like I said, he's still not a good person. He is an awful human being, but man, it is hard not to kind of enjoy riding along with him and seeing what stuff comes up and stuff. So
yeah. Exactly. Let me tell you, it's just like that movie I was telling you about. The one I said you see you added to your KK to your K. I always say KK, but you right.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know why I've been doing it for you. I say KK, but because it's like KK, that's what I would say it as. But for the English speakers, Q, yes. I guess. But and just like that, the guy totally, the main character is totally unlikable, completely. But you're like, okay, what's going on here? Let me see. You just keep following along with it. This is. But I even likened. I remember in a video I did last week. I was saying how that movie that I watched, I was telling you about, is so much. It reminded me how unlikable the character in Kill or Be Killed is, which is why I immediately thought of when I saw the movie. But this character. He's so unlikable. I don't even try to remember his name. I know Kyle, Steve. What is it?
Dylan.
Okay.
It's Dylan.
Dylan.
And it's easy for me because I know a Dylan I don't like, so it makes it really easy for me to remember. But So that book is just awesome. That was such a fun read because, like I said, I was so tickled at the beginning of it. I'm like, oh my, because basically. Like you said, what we were just discussing about the fact that, at some point he has to become this like super stud killer because at the beginning of the book in issue 1, he's just wrecking everybody. So of course this issue they start out going, oh yeah, I know you're probably some of you sharp readers are probably thinking, well, I was like this at one point. And they're like, oh, they answer it for us. That's just
It's awesome. But you know what? I love Everbreaker. It makes me glad that I have a lot more of his works. Mm-hmm. And great book, great series. Yeah. I hope that's me. I hope they actually make it into a series, like a TV series or a movie. A TV series would be better because it's so long running. But who would you envision or visualize as like the actor? Who you think will play Kyle? What's his name again? Kyle Steve? What?
Dylan. Okay. Dylan. And I don't know who would play Dylan.
Dylan.
I don't think it could be any
superstar
of the typical stars, because most typical stars are the kind of like the good-looking kind of person, and he shouldn't be that. He should be somebody that you just look at and go, oh, he's the plainest person. Because that's really what Dylan is. He's just kind of a plain guy, kind of thing.
I think they'll put Jessica Chastain in the role of Kira, maybe. Maybe the redheaded. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I would hope they pick a no non-cast. Like no.
Sure. Cast. That's what I think they should do for sure if they're gonna make it into a show. So yeah, great book for sure. Any others you want to talk about?
No, I am all indied out.
Okay. So an okay week. Last week I had lots of books I loved. This week they were fine. There's some I am irritated with, but I enjoyed them and whatnot. What's that?
They're serviceable.
Yeah. So I don't know off the top of my head what's coming out next week, but I'm sure there'll be something in there that'll be fun to read and stuff. I don't know any indie news or whatnot as far as that kind of stuff goes. I never do. They don't talk so much about that kind of thing and whatnot. So call it a night.
I think so.
Okay, that's what we'll do. Anyway, thank you all for coming and Ed for chatting with us, and everybody else is. Oh, Brandon is saying the last issue of Lady Killer finally comes out next week. So I'm stoked for that. It has been
last issue, like never gonna be done again after this.
Well, I mean, at least of this arc. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming she could come back to it at some point if she wanted to, but
Okay. I really like that.
It's been crazy long. You know, it's probably been 6 months since the last issue of that. So that's pretty cool.
It has, but honestly, some of these books it's taken such a hiatus that I kind of don't notice. But Lady Killer is one of those ones I always notice is where is it? Where is it at? And I always miss it when it does come back. And I'm like, I feel even worse when it comes to go back on hiatus after a few issues. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get you this time on time, and I never.
Right.
Goes.
Right. Alrighty. Well, as I was saying, we're gonna call it a night. Thank you, Rez, for coming on and chatting books. It's good to have you back. So I could chat with you about that, whatnot. So I am pretty stoked to do that. And thank you everybody who watches this after the fact. I know there are plenty of you too. Always appreciate it. Let us know what you read. Whatever, we way off on what we're reading. You thought something was awesome and we're crazy or whatever. Always happy to hear that too, of course. If you're one of those wonderful people that's giving us the thumbs down, why the thumbs down? Let us know. Let us know so we can bend ourselves over backwards to do whatever we need to do to make you love us. And to end the show, congratulations to Mike. The reason Mike is not here tonight is he is a brand new daddy, which we're all pretty excited about. Everybody's happy and healthy from the last time I talked to Mike, as of yesterday. So that is awesome. Kudos to him. He has added one more comic book reader to our masses. We'll save a seat for her, so when she's old enough, she can come on and talk comics with us too. Anyway. Have a great night, everybody, and see you next time.
Bye.